Good morning, everybody. Getting this thing ready. Share this. Lions Talk. All right. Here we are. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Taylor. Good to see you in the comments. And good morning to our Patreon, Fred Peterson. James is in the house. Jean's in the house. Jordan in the house. Rock Niche is in the house. Paul in the house. Henry's in the house. Oh, you gotta like that. There's even some crying in the comments. Oh, this is a fantastic way to start the day. Oh, yeah. Good morning, Bear Down Mike. Oh, it is a good morning right here. Yes. Good morning. Welcome one, welcome all. It is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. And Wednesday means that we are going to talk about the Lions.
Acknowledge me.
That's right. Your NFC North champions, the strongest team in the NFC North by far. And that is a fantastic thing. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions news. We're broadcasting live into Mike, the Bear fan. For all my Bear fans that are out there watching, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate you watching and supporting your team when it's not doing as good. And here is the Detroit Lions Villain Squad right here. Please go follow the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We just crossed over 13,000 villains, and we want to continue to keep growing. And what? Do you have a mouse in your pocket? No. Main Event Mike is here too.
Say hello to my friend.
And that's my friend right there. How
Good
you
morning,
doing,
Russell?
Mike?
Good morning, Russ. I'm so good.
So good. We had a good practice last night.
Good.
I like
rehearsal.
that.
Good.
I
rehearsal.
like that.
You like that?
Practice is what you do at home.
This is true. This is true. This is true.
We have a Rajneesh sighting today. Welcome back, Rajneesh.
What, do you have that comment handy? I think that he puts. But do you have a comment that Rajneesh put? Could you put his comment up there for me? Just so we can get it up there, right there, right?
It says Cowboys by 20.
Cowboys by 20. And then he had one other comment in there too that said that we're like the weakest team.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Where is it? Oh, yeah. There you go. You guys are the weakest team in the playoffs. But hold on, pull that comment down for a minute. This is what you're really doing. This is what you're really doing, Rajneesh.
This is you, Rajneesh.
This is you right now. This is you right now. You did, but you're the weakest in the play. You're so weak. No, we're 11-4, and the king of the NFC North.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Yeah. You deserve this.
The champ is here. Champ is here. Champ is here.
All right, I'm done. All right, I'm done, Rajneesh. I'm done dancing on it. I'm dancing because the thing is the job isn't done. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit today. I don't know if you had anything that you wanted to open up with, but I figure we'll just start right here. The Lions are going to get a huge boost with players returning back from injury before the playoffs. And this is
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Playoffs. Mike, what do you think, man? This is a huge shot in the arm. You're talking Aleem McNeil, James Houston. They were either going to start his window this week or next week, but either way, he's going to be back before that home playoff game. And Aleem McNeil and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's already been practicing. He should debut after that pectoral injury this week in Dallas. So how you feel about that, Mike?
Well, I think first of all, we need to get used to calling him CD Deuce. Terrible name choice, Chauncey, but we'll go with it. CD Deuce coming back is the biggest of this three-headed monster you've got up on the screen here. I mean, obviously, Lee McNeil was having his best year before he got hurt, and getting a push up the middle is going to be really big. Especially when we get to the playoffs, we need to get pressure on the quarterback from the middle of the defensive line. So having Aleem will be big. James Houston, though, that's a 21-day ramp up before they let him play. And this team tends to bring players back a little bit slower than normal. I'm not even sure we'd see James Houston in the first playoff game. They would have started his window already, you would think. But I think of the three, I think CD Deuce is the biggest shot in the arm for this defense. Not just what he brings on the field, but the locker room, the energy, the intensity is going to be huge for this defense.
Absolutely. But I think that just to clear up with the 21-day window is you don't have to take the 21 days. Like they can elevate him to the roster the same week. They can do it. So he will be on the roster playing within that 20 days, or they'll throw him back on injured reserve. They do have that right to either, they have to clear a roster spot for him and put him on the roster, or they can put him back on injured reserve. So they're going to test it out. And you're right. And you're right. Out of the three, James Houston's a little bit of the least likely, but it looks like they're going to get all three. They're going to get all three of them back. They put Aleem McNeil onto IR, but I think that's more precautionary. When it came down, they knew that they were going to get him back. They thought it was probably like a 3-week window, but they needed the roster spots. So if they knew they weren't going to have him for 3 weeks, they sacrificed the extra week for McNeil because they needed the roster spot to replace his production for the 3 weeks where we got 2 out of 3 wins. So that's going to work out well. But I think Aleem is underrated too. This guy had 5 sacks from the interior, and they have replaced the production very well with Josh Pascal and, the other guys have been putting in the middle. Bugs has been in there. They've been putting different people at that 3 technique, and it's been working. But Aleem McNeil is having a career year. So I think these are going to be huge, monumental. It's like getting, better than anything from the trade deadline. Like this is like everybody that was clamoring for pass rush and all this, all getting all 3 of these guys is going to be better than anything that happened at the trade deadline, including one Chase Young. Go ahead, Mike. You're chomping at the bit. I can see this. You're looking at a comment or something and not paying attention to me. I don't think anybody's paying attention to me.
Everyone's paying attention to you, Rust. I think CD Deuce has the biggest impact, and obviously Aleem McNeil. But James Houston, that's what we really need. We need his bend off the edge. We need his speed off the edge, especially to chase down some of these quarterbacks once they escape the pocket. I mean, ask Justin Fields. James Houston's a nightmare when you get out of the pocket and he's closing in on you. So, yeah, I think that, we really need James Houston to be in there. So let's hope that he gets activated in time for the playoff game.
Yeah, and they haven't activated him yet. So, but they talked about it. This was the first time that I'd seen really Dan Campbell be positive about it. Usually, we don't know. He's been kind of, cards kept close to his sleeve on the James Houston, but this was the first time I was like, yeah, we're really thinking about opening up the window. And that would be a good thing. That'd be a good thing. Even if, I mean, that's 3 weeks away, the 21 day. I think that all three of them will be playing before the end of the season. I think that you'll see some James Houston in Minnesota in the last game. So what do you think about that? You guys got, I mean, here we are. This is football talk with Russell Wayne, but this is Lions talk today. So we're diving in a little bit on these Lions right here. And the Lions are going to get a huge boost right before the playoffs with three very, very good impact players. Chauncey Gardner, if you ask him, he'd tell you that he was the best safety in football. You just ask him. And that's what that would be. Let's see what we got in these comments. Wait.
They're giving Rajneesh hell, saying he's never here, but just because he's not in your comment, he's saying that he's here, and we can confirm that, man. We look at the list of the people who liked or are watching the stream. So thanks, Ted Ross, Jason Decotu, Thomas, Marvin, Michelle, Lucretia, Ken, Kim, and Rajneesh is in there as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, it's hard. And this is the thing. I mean, I'll call out Lion fan on this too. When we lose, when the Lion fans lose, we're way worse than the Bear fans. Oh my God. I mean, it's like defending like a team that's like only won one game all year. That's what it's like on this show after a loss. I mean, at 9-3, like when they lost that one game to go from 8-2 to 8-3. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, you would think that we just lost 50 games in a row. So Lion fan, you got nothing to talk about. You got nothing to talk about on that because, Bear Down Mike, Rajneesh, with that awful season that they've had, they've been here. They've been here every week, and they've been supporting their team. So kudos to the Bear fans for that. And Lion fans, we're learning how to win. We don't know what we're doing. I mean, we don't know what to do with our hands. That's where we're at. We don't win. We don't win the NFC North. Oh, it's the same old Lions. No, it's not. We don't ever win the North. We don't ever win 11 games.
How about this question from Ken? Curious about who you take off the roster for these three impact players. It's a great call. Obviously, I think Kendall Vildor, right? I mean, I know a lot of Lions fans would like to see Jerry Jacobs go and Kendall stay. But, I mean, he's the bottom of
Khalil Dorsey.
Kendall Vildor and Khalil Dorsey. These guys are bottom of the barrel or bottom of the totem pole.
Benito Jones, Buggs,
right, and that's making room, for each one of these players in their respective positions. In the secondary, CJ can play. Well, we got to call him CD Deuce, Russ. CD Deuce or Deucey, as they're calling him now, Deucey. He's going to take one of those spots in the secondary. So it's got to be a secondary player that goes along the line for Lee McNeil. Like I can't see Benito Jones going because he's played so well, right? So who goes along the defensive line to make room for Aline?
Well, it's one of those.
Alu on the active roster, even or Bruce Irvin?
No.
Bruce Irvin's on the active roster. It might be Bruce Irvin getting sent down.
And it'll be one of those bottom type of people. The thing is like, this isn't even a comparison, guys. These guys are high level dudes here. This is like having a guy in your Madden franchise, right? And you got a whole bunch of 79s that are sitting right there. They're okay. You can kind of put them in there. They're not going to embarrass you. But here you got three players that are like 88, 89, 91 in pass rushing for, James Houston, Aline McNeil coming in like a 90 overall. I mean, it's not, one of the 75 guys got to go. Sorry. You got to get clipped. It's okay. These guys are high impact players. The second in sacks on the team, Aline McNeil, the guy that was second in sacks last year, James Houston. He had 9 sacks or 8.5 sacks or something like that last year in his rookie year in like 3 games. No, I'm kidding. Like half a season.
Gun guy thinks Charles Harris would be on the chopping block.
Oh,
to get
yeah,
Houston
yeah.
and McNeil. I find that one
Yeah.
hard to believe. They pay him too much money. And Paul says Irvin and Alu are the first to get cut, which makes total sense.
And I don't even know if those guys are up right now, because I think Bruce Irvin was just practice squad, and they got 3 elevations between now and the end of the year. So I think what the Lions are doing is they got a nice little plethora of people that maybe on their couch, but that know the defense that they can pluck in. It's almost like an extension of the roster, because you don't even have to put these guys on a practice squad. Bruce Irvin ain't going to get signed by anybody else. Like, it's like he's invested in here. He's on his couch. You don't care. You're like, he wants to come in and play here. Like, those are good advantages to have, in my opinion, right there.
Mm-hmm.
You got any good comments in there?
No, they're having it out. We got a lot of new names, new faces in here. Like, say thanks, Scotty, for coming in. He said, I'm 61 years old, a fan since 10 years old. Best Christmas gift, NFC North champs. Now on to the playoffs. Love that call out.
Right.
Mark Marengo says, I have a feeling Lions are going to beat Dallas. The pressure off for winning the North. Would love to take down the Cowboys. And that's a great point, Russ. Now that pressure, win the North. Yep. Oh, they could lose out. Same old Lions. We've burst through that glass ceiling now. We've won the North. We can take a sigh of relief now. We're going to go into Dallas and play loose. You think that helps? The Cowboys, they've already secured a playoff spot. They're trying to win their division, obviously, so they're going to bring their best game. But the Lions, let's face it, they were winning last year against this team. They were up 10-6 at halftime, lost the game 24-10. They came back out in the second half and laid an egg. They've got to avoid that this year in Dallas. Hang tough with the Cowboys in the first half, take their best punch, then stand up tall in the second half and pull this game out. Look, it's not going to be easy. Cowboys are very tough, especially at home. Dak Prescott has that team, the offense humming on all cylinders, but they have been exposed a bit. We saw Buffalo run right through them, right? We saw Buffalo run through them like day-old gas station sushi. and that's not a good running team, folks. We are a good running team, Detroit Lions. We have a good offensive line. I say we pound the rock right down their throat every possession.
And that's what you think, isn't it?
Yeah, you would think.
I mean, it is that we're going to run the ball on this team. But here's the thing. This is true. The Cowboys are undefeated at home. I think they got some crazy long streak, too. I think it's like 15 games or something like that they've won in a row at home. Dak Prescott is a different animal. That offense is a different animal. That defense is a different animal when they're playing at home. That's going to be it's going to be a tough game, but I'm with you, Mike. Where they have been weak, the Dallas Cowboys, is, at the point of attack. The teams that have beaten them have physically dominated them and, been way more physical. And that's right in our alley, guys. Like that's what we do. We're biting kneecaps off. Our offense is smash mouth. And when Frank down, they are undefeated at home, but the Lions are undefeated when this man is in the lineup with the full complement of the offensive line. The Lions are 6-0 when Frank Ragnow is out there. And as long as we got Frank the Tank, I think we're running right through this soft defense that we're worried about them sacking Jared Goff. You know what I do? I'm going to point Penei Sewell and that offensive line and Jahmyr Gibbs right at Micah Parsons. Let's see what happens when Micah Parsons is facing Penei Sewell when Penei Sewell's running downhill.
Mm-hmm. We know this Dallas defense. They're a little undersized. They're kind of small.
They got speed.
Yeah, they got speed, but they can be manhandled, like Paul says here in the comments. Cowboys get manhandled at the line of scrimmage. That's a great call out, and that's what the identity of this Detroit Lions team is. They're bullies. They're the Motown bullies up front. And if we can get a good push and nobody's even touching David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs for 3.5 yards, we're going to salt this game away. Trust me, this is not the same team that played the Cowboys last year.
So one of the questions that came up, and it was something that you and I were talking about for the last couple of weeks, and I've been laughed at a lot on this show, thinking that we could get the 1 seed because we've been dealing with all this SOL lose out type of bullshit that people have been throwing in from the outside. But the Lions just shut everybody up, and they keep on winning games, and now they have a realistic shot at the 1 seed. And it's as simple as this, that the Lions go down to Dallas and get a victory, and then they come back here and then they beat a wounded Minnesota Vikings team at home to close out the season. So I think they can realistically get that done. And the San Francisco 49ers have a soft Commanders team this week that they'll probably smash. But then the following week, they got to play the Rams. They got to play Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Is it possible that the Lions could win these last 2 games and Matt Stafford could give us a New Year's gift of a first-round bye by beating the San Francisco 49ers in Week 18 to secure his playoff spot?
Playoffs?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. I'm not worried about Matt Stafford coming to Ford Field. I know a lot of people are. Pat Caputo wrote a great article yesterday about the specter of Matt Stafford looming over this franchise, and that it would be our worst nightmare to have Stafford come in and win a playoff game in Ford Field. He could never do it as a Lion, but if he comes in as a Ram and wins a playoff game at Ford Field, that it would be a travesty. And there are a lot of PTSOL sufferers who are thinking that that's what's going to happen. We really do have a chance to get the number 1 seed, though. Stafford could beat the Rams and the Lions could win out. Then you get the number 1 seed. Right now we're sitting at 2, right? I mean,
yeah, right now technically it's 3, but it's like we're in this mentality. All they have to do is win these last 2 in-conference games. When you're talking about going in and taking out the Cowboys and then beating the Vikings. They're both NFC. With those 2 NFC victories stacked on top of each other, we are guaranteed the 2 seed if we win out. And that is home. That's 2 home playoff games. If you can win that first one, you would be guaranteed another one. So, but just to have a shot at that 1 seed, because that would be monumental. Right there. You wouldn't be facing Stafford in the first round. Stafford would have to play a game to get to you. And then when he did, it would be, us rested up with a rested James Houston with a rested roster and ready to go. And if that's the case, I think that I wouldn't want to be Matt Stafford coming here after a bye week.
It is an interesting storyline, and you've got to imagine that the NFL scriptwriters, if there is such a thing, would be salivating at this matchup. Think about the built-in storylines here, Russ. The trade for Jared Goff and Matt Stafford that set up our franchise to win this title. Of course, the Rams getting the all-or-nothing Super Bowl out of it, now clawing their way back into being a contender, and have the Lions beat them down. Or have him break through and Stafford beats his own team. Either way, it's a great storyline. The NFL is salivating at this. The other one, I like Detroit Fan Man's comment here. The other story option is playing the Eagles and Matt Patricia running the defense over there. If Matt Patricia comes to Ford Field, oh boy, would you love to hear the boos that are going to rain down on his punchable face.
Yep, and I would love to watch Ben Johnson completely dismantle Matt Patricia and his stupid pencil and his stupid face. And there's no way that was, they just signed their death warrant in Philadelphia. To me, they were a slam dunk Super Bowl contending team until they made this punchable face here your defensive coordinator. You have no shot. You have no chance. You have no chance anymore. You just became a first round out. I hope that it's us. I hope that somehow we land the Eagles in the first round because we're going to run right through that team. And one of the questions I wanted to ask right here and right now, and I didn't get a chance to do the graphic for it, but the talk of Jalen Carter, we could have just had Jalen Carter, dude. He might be the best defensive player that came out of the draft. I can admit that. But the question would be, I'll ask it again because I asked it about 3 weeks ago too. Would you trade Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta for Jalen Carter?
It's a tough one, but
no, it's not.
Well, I think
no, it's not.
Russ. Well, Russ, don't be so quick because talking about maybe possibly a generational player along the middle of the line. They're a lot harder to find than tight ends and running backs.
Are they?
They are. Look at Kyron Williams. Who? Look at some of these guys, running backs that you never even heard of, and they've devalued the position so much.
Okay, so Mike would trade Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta.
I think
okay, wishy-washy, man.
It's considerable. No, I mean, let's look at both angles.
To me, I did.
Okay,
I'm going to say, because right now you're making the other argument, and that's responsible because that's what we do on this show. We have to logically make the other argument. But if I'm looking at it, you got 2 top 5 players at their position. I would not trade 2 top 5 players at their position for like 1 defensive tackle.
You could have had Jalen Carter and Tyjae Spears, who's killing it over there for the Tennessee Titans, backing up Derrick Henry. You could have got him in the later rounds. He essentially is Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, okay. You can't play that game. You can't play that game. We're talking about 2 players for 1. We're talking about the number 6 pick that he traded down to 12 and got 34 and 12 out of it and was able to get Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta for not taking Jalen Carter, which I don't think they were going to take anyway. And here's this Jalen Carter, and let's look at these Philadelphia Eagles.
It's not fair because Jalen Carter for Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs, that sounds like a great way to spin it, but you would not, you wouldn't have got that second pick. So you'd still have your pick. So you could get Jalen Carter and Tyjae Spears in a later round. So now we're comparing apples to apples. It's 2 for 1. So the real question is, would you rather have Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs or Jalen Carter and Tyjae Spears? And I'm using Spears just as an example.
But you can't do that. This is we're doing reality here.
No, we're not. We're talking about hypothetical. Would you rather?
Would you rather? Yes, exactly. And I'm giving you 2 people, and then now you're. Hey, man, you could have had. Who else was awesome? Who else was awesome that we didn't take? That's not fair that you're throwing another thing in there. This was straight up pick 6. Pick 6 turned into pick 34 and 6. And the argument was we should have just taken Jalen Carter at 6. And there would have been no 32. There would have been no extra 34 pick if we would have just picked at 6. There is no extra pick. There is no Tyjae Spears.
But Tyjae Spears would mitigate not having Jahmyr Gibbs. It would offset not having that. So
we got to
definitely throw that into the equation.
To trade down and not take Jalen Carter. It's not apples to apples. Apples to apples is 2 for 1. And that's what happened. And that's what Brad Holmes did, is he traded down and got 2 players for that 6. Right? There would have been if he would have just taken Jalen Carter at 6, because he could have. He could have taken Jalen Carter at 6, but you wouldn't have had 34.
Jordan says your defense would be tougher, but you'd be losing some potent offensive players. I don't think it's worth it. So he agrees with you. And I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I just think it's extremely interesting when you look at the way Jalen Carter's been playing. I wasn't an advocate for drafting him because of the off-field issues. I feel like there's a culture thing here in Detroit, and you've got to be a certain personality, a certain ilk to be able to be a Detroit Lion now. And that Jalen Carter with the off-field stuff just didn't fit that at this time. So, but the guy's a game wrecker. He would have been looking really good on this defense. It would have made things easier for Aiden Hutchinson and the rest of the guys on the D if we had a guy like that in the middle.
Maybe. maybe that's all hypothetical too, because you did just stick Jalen Carter on what was already the best defense in the league, or a top 3 unit in the league, or a top 3 up front that just drafted another. They have Jordan Davis that they drafted in the first round from the previous year. So he may be reaping some of the benefits of being on an already good defense, just like Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs are probably reaping the benefits of being on an already good offense. So I know that argument goes both ways.
J-Mommy says Gibbs and Laporta have 19 touchdowns for the Lions. It's a good point,
Yeah.
J-Mommy.
Yeah.
Lions made it clear that they weren't drafting Carter, and they sure did.
And here's the thing with that. Like, I posed this question about, it might have been 5 weeks ago, but it was a different answer. There was a lot more people that were on the Jalen Carter, but now you're looking at a tight end that may end up going down as the greatest rookie tight end performance ever. And Jahmyr Gibbs, who looks like this all-purpose dude and everything that they had said that he was going to be when they picked him at 12. And if that's the case, I mean, just let these guys cook. Let Brad cook, because who the hell are we to question this guy? What does he do? All he does is win and pick winners. I mean, think about that first draft class, Mike. Now let's look at this with Penei Sewell, Aleem McNeil, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now Ifeatu Melifonwu, Derek Barnes. I mean, are you kidding me? And you get into the second year, then you draft Aiden Hutchinson. You got a Kirby Joseph. You got Malcolm Rodriguez, Josh Pascal. All these guys are contributing on the team. And then this year, he does it again. Who hits like that? This is by far, if he doesn't win GM of the year, it's a robbery, because he is like maybe the GM of the decade. Who hits every damn pick? Who does that?
Right.
Who does that? Who are you to criticize? Oh, you should take. And I'm not saying this to you, Mike, because I know you had to make the other argument. But you should have taken Jalen Carter. Who are you to say that they should have taken Jalen Carter when you look at this man's track record? Are you kidding me? He may be the greatest GM of all time. If he keeps it up, if he hits another 4 studs in this next draft, Mike, I mean, we're just going to have to call him the GOAT, right? I mean,
no, you have to have a Lombardi trophy to be the GOAT of anything.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. Because nobody thought that we were going to win 11. Nobody thought we were going to win a division. Oh, okay, maybe some people thought we were going to win a division, but that's because our division's bad. We don't have very good teams, but this team is for real. This Lions team is for real, because it isn't an accident if you find ways to win instead of finding ways to lose.
Mm-hmm. And this game coming up for Dallas is going to be telling. Do you think it's going to be telling, Russ? Does it change anything if we lose this game?
No, it doesn't, because it's a trap game, and I'm scared to death to lose this game because of the high of just winning the NFC North title, facing a hungry team that just got its ass kicked
3 weeks in a row, right?
They've lost 3 weeks in a row.
I know they've lost 2 at least in a row, but have they lost 3 in a row?
I think they've lost 3 in a row.
The most dangerous animal is a wounded, cornered animal,
yep.
And that's what you don't want to go into Dallas and face. Rebecca says, Lions got this game. It'll be one of our hardest games with all the build-up and prior Cowboy beatings, but we got this. Let's fucking go. Love that comment, Rebecca. Thank you.
And I think that, it comes into this man right here, Aaron Glenn, with his defense. And he's taken a lot of shit throughout the year, but he's had a lot of these young guys on a team, and the defense has improved. Yeah. Oh, man. Chad left me that message. Chad, thank you for reminding me right there. Chad is going to the Dallas game, and he's got these sweet-ass cameras, Mike. And he's been filming some of my live shows when he's came out. and he's got extra batteries, and he's going to the Dallas game. He's going to get us some footage that we're going to be able to share with everybody on here. And that is so awesome.
Villain right there.
That is a super villain. Chad is one of the first super villains that we've had with our little organization here of kneecap biters, right? Why? Yeah. Because yeah. But Aaron Glenn has improved this defense. And it may not be as fast or whatever, but going from 32, 29, and now I don't know where exactly it is, but it's not 29 anymore. It's probably somewhere in the teens at this point in time. But you got these young players. You got guys that are starting to break out a little bit, like Ifatu, our boy. Should we I love that we got a shout out from our boy. I'm going to play the shout out right here from everybody, but knowing that by far, this is going to be our Lion of the Week. I think this was a unanimous decision. I don't even want to throw it out there because everybody.
You don't even want to put it out there for Lion of the Week.
I can't. Who are you going to say besides Ifatu? A division ceiling
Jahmyr Gibbs,
interception.
2 touchdowns, 100 yards from scrimmage. A division changer.
Ceiling interception that wins the first division in 30 years. He also had 2 sacks. He was a game wrecker. Ifatu Melifonwu was by far the best defensive player on the team. And even with Kirby with 2 interceptions, Kirby got burnt on that first play. He should have been covering that damn tight end. So I got to give it to Ifatu on defense for sure. You want to throw that, Jahmyr? You can go ahead.
I would also vote for Iffy on this one.
And we could throw it out there. We could throw it out there to the people that are watching right here, the villains that are watching. Even if anybody can vote on this. But who would you vote for Lion of the Week? I think it's Ifatu Melifonwu. While you guys are thinking about it, let's just play the shout out.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
Yes, thank you for the shout out, Ifatu. I mean, he was so quick too. Send him a message, ask him if he could put a shout out to everything. I mean, it was like 15 minutes, Mike. It was really, really cool. I appreciate that so much. And now you're balling. You are balling, Ifatu.
And this week's winner of the main event's Lion of the Week, Ifatu Melifonwu.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
How about this comment from Fred? Should be Nick Mullins. Oh,
oh, that's awesome. Oh, I am popular. I am popular today. It's like I should just text him being like, look, I'm on the show. You should pop on and give us a like, please. Give us a like. Let's see where we're at over here. I'm looking over at the YouTube screen, which is over on this side for me. I got 30 people watching on YouTube and 15 likes. So what I want you to do right now, if you're watching on YouTube, please, pretty please, from the bottom of my heart right here, would you please reach down and smash that like button and smash that subscribe button? That would mean a lot to us. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything except a little bit of time right there, and just go pop, hit that thing, and we would appreciate it. And if you're not on our YouTube, right here it is. Subscribe to it. Main Event 365. That's what the Lions main. The Main Event. And yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm trying to build that thing up too. And we're talking Lions today. This is Lions Talk with Russell Wayne Wednesday. Our Patreon. Thank you to Fred our very first Patreon right there. If you want to support our show, go to Villain Squad at patreon.com. That's how you would do that. So thank you to the ones that are supporting the show. And God bless you too. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Steve said he curb stomped that like button.
He curb stomped it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it when it.
So we didn't read Iffy's stats. He did win Lion of the Week, so I need to backtrack real quick. Congratulations to Iffy Melifonwu for winning a meaningless award from two knucklehead podcasters. Lion of the Week, here's your stat line. Iffy had 5 tackles, but 2 of them were sacks. He had 2 quarterback hits, 2 pass deflected. He was all over his different maker. The interception at the end of the game sealed it. If that was the only play he made in the whole game, he still might have won this award this week, but with a great stat line like that. So it brings the question now, when CD Deuce comes back, does Iffy lose reps? We had one of our commenters ask this question, and I can't find it, so I'm sorry I can't say your name because I can't find the comment now. But what do you think of that, Russ? Do you split these reps? Does CD Deuce come right back in and get his starting job? And if he goes back to the bench?
No. What I think is going to happen is, and they've even said as much when they were talking about it, is, he's going to get eased back in just like everybody else that's been injured. He ain't going to come out and get he ain't going to get 50 snaps. He's going to be an emotional boost on the sidelines, and he'll probably get 10, 12 snaps. They're going to put him into packages where he can, make some plays and everything. But if he's still going to have his packages, Kirby's going to have his packages. And, when Glenn talked about it, he's like, look, we got 4 guys that can play all the positions. And anytime any one of them are out there, they're all at the level of where they need to play and be that. He's a little bit different of a dude. So to have Iffy out there, he's long. So if you got a guy that can ball like Iffy, where he's 6'3", he's got these long ass arms and can defend. That's what Aaron Glenn says he likes. He likes safeties that have coverage skills. And I mean, even though it was a 3-year project, he came into the NFL as a cornerback. He had coverage skills. So they trained him as a cornerback, and then they cross-trained him as a safety. So now they have a safety, just like Chauncey Gardner, by the way. This isn't the first time that they've done this.
Or Brian Branch.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a cornerback when he was in college. He came here and moved to safety. And I don't even know if he's a safety. He's kind of like a cornerback safety.
Well, the Eagles had him play a nickel corner in the Super Bowl. But he played most of the year at safety for the Eagles last year and led the league in interceptions. I like what you're saying, Russ. You've got CD Deuce, who has these crossover skills, right? He can play safety, he can play nickel corner, he can play corner. You've got Brian Branch, a Swiss Army knife, can play safety, can play up on the line of scrimmage, play corner, play nickel corner. Now, when CD Deuce comes back, you've got CD and Kirby in the back. Or, excuse me, you've got Iffy and Kirby playing safety, and you can move CD Deuce and Brian Branch up to cover on the line of scrimmage. This is going to make us really, really tough adding another stud in the back end.
And you know what? I like the cross-training thing because you have all of those guys can play slot corner or both of the safety positions. So you can move these guys anywhere along that defensive backfield. And that works to your advantage because I don't know if CD is going to be playing slot corner or safety. And you don't know that from play to play. They're moving these guys. They can do multiple positions. All of these guys. Brian Branch can play safety. CD can play safety. They can all play slot corner too. If he can play corner. And
he played corner in college.
He played corner in college, and he did play corner the very first year here until he got injured. They moved Iffy to safety because we had so many damn safety injuries that, somebody's got to play safety. And then he gets cross-trained into that, and now he's blossoming and turning into a high level. I mean, he ain't just a guy that isn't going to mess up. He's a guy that's like a plus player now that is making plays in the defensive secondary. And I think it's those long ass arms, man. You can't teach 6'3" in, a 747 wingspan, you can't teach that. That's God given. Lions versus Cowboys this week. Do the Lions have a chance? This is a game that at the beginning of the season, all of us, myself included, Michael included, we had it marked as an L. This is an L. You're going to go to Dallas and lose. That's a hard place to play. We marked it as an L. Do you still feel the same way?
Well, I don't think so. I think I'm a lot into I mean, we didn't expect this Lions team really to come out of the first 5 weeks the way they did. So maybe now it changes things. I like what our commenters are saying here. Must be the mix. Says pressure Dak and contain Lamb, and it's a wrap. Fred says pressure Dak and he'll go full Prescott. He'll crumble and cry very quickly. He's as soft as his ankle.
Yeah, but the thing that scares me about these guys is they're on it might even be approaching historic home winning streak. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't get beat. That sometimes that means that they're ripe and ready for us to come in and just mess them up. But these guys, they're undefeated at home. This is a different football team at home than what you saw that got ran through in Buffalo in the elements. And this, these teams that are running through, going to Miami and playing, that's a hard place to play. And that's a good Miami team that they just got beat by 3 points by. So this is no joke right here. We ain't, I think we can run through them. I believe you, but this isn't this is a hard team to derail at home. CeeDee Lamb might be the best wide receiver in the NFL, and we don't know. You could put him right there with JJ, with a guy that changes games. All of a sudden, he just catches the ball over 3 people and runs in for a touchdown. That's what CeeDee Lamb is. I know. I had him on my fantasy football team. I drafted him on my fantasy football team. Good for me.
So obviously,
Good
you're an
for me.
expert.
So obviously, I know everything there is to know about CeeDee Lamb. No.
Steve says he feels Dallas' defense is going to give problems for Jared Goff. Goff has to play quick and get rid of the ball quickly.
I agree with that, and it's going to be a long game if they can't establish the run. I think that they can get through that problem if they're able to run the football. I don't want Goff to be passing the ball too much in this game. I think we can dominate the line of scrimmage and do a lot of, look at what we did to Minnesota's defense last week. And I'm not trying to open up the salty wound right here, but that defense was way better than anybody thought that it was. And that blitzing style that you guys do is hard. And the Lions were able to help to do that. They ran 30 points up on a top 10 defense. And that defense the Cowboys defense isn't any better than Minnesota's defense. It just isn't. So, and they even got Jordan Hicks back on that week. So that defense was even better. They were missing Byron Murphy. That might actually been a blessing in disguise.
We're going to pay some bills.
Do you want to, pay some bills, Mike?
You are watching Football Talk with Russell Wayne, part of the Main Event 365 Network. Be sure to follow us on YouTube at Main Event 365. Follow us on Facebook, Lions Villain Squad. That's VILLAIN, not IAN like copiers and pretenders try to spell it. It's Villain Squad on Facebook. Also, don't forget, every Monday night, it's the NFC North open mic. All 4 fan bases come in and we talk a little smack and we do a little football in-depth analysis. It's the Main Event 365 Network. Check us out every day for Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. on the weekdays. And then Monday night, it's the NFC North open mic hosted by Main Event Mike. And let's get ready for some playoff football and let's talk about it.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Ryan
That was
Riles says,
beautiful.
Ryan Riles says the odds of them having trouble running the football are really, really low against Dallas. If that offensive line is healthy, which it is.
Yeah, I mean that they are undefeated at home, but we are also undefeated when we have our starting 5 offensive linemen. So
J.R. John says Goff getting that next shot at Super Bowl. There you go. Dak Prescott, you say what about him, but there's only one quarterback in this game that's been to a Super Bowl, and that's Jared Goff.
right. So here you go. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's put it out there. I mean, I like scale of 1 to 10 because you can get into the gray a little bit, right? How much of a threat is Detroit to win the NFC on a scale of 1 to 10?
For me, it's 5.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the one I thought it was an easy 7. I think it's
5.
So Mike's got him at 5. I got him at 7. What do you got him out there? I mean, it doesn't matter what we think. We're usually wrong most of the time, unless Mike's making lock bets. Just as a little preview, did we do okay or for Friday? So our Friday show here, let's give them the week down. So Mondays we usually do the reviews of all 4 of the NFC North teams. Tuesdays is the stat day, the nerdy stat day. Mike will go through the box scores. I'm going to give you some nerdy PFF stats like these guys right here. Yeah, look at all them nice stats. I love stats. Stats make me all nerdy and smart, or at least I think I am. Wednesdays, we're doing what we're doing now. We're doing the Lions review. We are Lions fans, even though we invite the other fan bases in here, which I think is awesome because I want to know about my enemy. But we are Lions fans, so we dedicate Wednesdays to just the Lions. Thursdays is a feel-good Thursday. Who knows what we could get on Thursday? We usually dive into some of the other NFL. And then Fridays is our picks. We pick every single game versus the spread, and that's when we invite Grove Teague from And We Know Sports, and he's going to give us the music lowdown on Fridays here. So Friday is our picks, Mike, and I don't know how we did. I haven't went back into it. I was kind of afraid, but do you know? Did you take a sneak peek yet?
Yeah, I didn't do very well. You did semi good. I don't have it in front of me. I will have that ready, of course, on Friday when we do our predictions. But a lot of people talking about the threat level of the Lions here in the comments. A lot of 6, 7s, and 8s. Our good friend Tina says, "I have a feeling the Lions will make it to the Super Bowl." So her confidence level is pretty good. We've got Turkessa who says 8. J Mommy says 8. Michael 6. James says threat level 8. Single Dads Club says 8. Gun Guy 7. Brent 7. So all these Lions fans are feeling pretty good about our chances to win the NFC and make it to the Super Bowl. And I'm only at a 5. Make me feel bad, man. I'm just trying to be realistic here. It's very hard to win football games in the NFL. It's extremely hard to make it to a Super Bowl and win one. So the chances of the Lions doing it in year 3 of this rebuild is astronomical. But hey, 25-1 actually are the odds. And I bought a ticket for the Lions to win the Super Bowl in July at 25-1. So maybe I can win and become a member of our Patreon.
The champ is here.
Taylor says she thinks an 11.
An 11. Oh, Taylor's goes up to 11, Michael. Well, why couldn't you just make it 10? And no, Taylor's goes to 11.
This one goes to 11. Michael says Lions just need to be hungry and stay clean. I like that call out. They need to be hungry and stay clean. So when they come out swarming on defense, they smother teams. We've seen it in Atlanta. We saw it in Green Bay, Tampa Bay.
Right.
When they come out like that, no one can beat them. And, keep Jared Goff clean and come out swarming on defense. And I think we can beat anybody. I agree with that.
So that's awesome. I'm glad that you guys are participating in that because I like to come up with stuff. And we like to come up with stuff that, that you guys participate in. I mean, we're just a couple knuckleheads with a podcast. We have our opinions and everything like that, but we're gonna try not to pretend to know everything. No, actually, we do pretend to know everything because we know everything, but we don't know as much as this guy right here. Who, I mean, if we would only listen to him in the first place, I mean, these guys, they could have been rushing the court. They could have been blitzing the entire season. But now that they're listening to me, yes, now they're winning. Congratulations to Brad Holmes. Aaron Glenn. They still need to fire him because
Fire Aaron Glenn.
Fire him. Oh, let's see. What else we got in there, Mike?
Man, we got so much good stuff.
Is it confidence? Is it
Yeah,
confidence?
it's all confidence.
You're
You're all says
oozing
NFC
confidence.
North Championship in the house. Detroit Lions, like it up or love it up. That's what he says. Roy says 7. We have to win out and get help. It would be 9 or 10 if we didn't need the other teams to lose. That's great. And I want the number 1 seed, folks. I don't know about you, but I want that number 1 seed. I want to take that week off and rest all our players and then host a playoff game at Ford Field by a team that's already, had to play a playoff game.
He's talking about getting the 1 seed, right? That we need help
That's
from
what
other
I'm
teams.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. But because we don't need any help. I mean, we're in the playoffs with a home playoff game. Like that is happening, and we are guaranteed the 3 seed. There's nothing that can happen that can move us off of the 3 seed.
Check that out. Ken says, I made a $20 wager that Michigan would win the national title and the Lions win the Super Bowl. Pays about 16 grand.
Wow.
Wow. This is called the Pigs Fly Parlay. Because, wouldn't that be something? My head would probably explode if the Wolverines won a natty and the Lions win the Super Bowl. First of all, if the Lions win the Super Bowl,
16 grand.
I'll probably have a coronary right there.
And then you get 16 grand, like on top of that, because you're such a fan. That's a fan right there.
Oh, this is a fan. Rebecca says, I have tickets, rooms, and all for the Super Bowl in hopes we see the Lions in Vegas, baby.
Wow.
Ooh, Super Bowl?
Playoffs.
Roy says making the Super Bowl depends on what seed we end up having, right? If we get the number 1 seed and you only got to play 2 games, and they are who we thought they were, and they both come through Detroit. Hey, I'm not saying it's a lock, but our chances go up dramatically.
I'm feeling good about like the way that the end of the season is ending like we thought that it would, because we have rookies and guys on defense that are just starting to find themselves right at the end of the year, right at the perfect time for them to go into the playoffs and be one of the hot teams. Because that's the biggest thing about winning in the playoffs. Year after year after year, a team gets hot. I mean, was Kansas City actually the best team last year, like the whole season? I mean, I think that there were some ups and downs in that season.
So last year, everyone predicted Buffalo was going to run to the title.
Right. So it's like it very rarely is like knuckleheads with a podcast coming in. Yeah, I told you, right? Like that usually doesn't happen for any team except for one. See, I told you. Only one team gets to say, see, I told you. 31 L's is going to happen to where you can, you're going to be able to shuffle the Lions. If the Lions lose at any point in the playoffs, you know the naysayers are going to come in. You see, I told you they couldn't win the blah, 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 whatever the goalpost they moved it to is. You know, I love that. I put one up today on the Villain Squad page that let me find this thing that was it was similar to your list thing that you put up, but it was
the to-do list, the Brad Holmes to-do list.
Yes, I want to find that, and then the one that I put up today that I had found. Let me get this thing and read it to you. Dun, 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 dun. Dan Campbell won't last 3. Here, let me get this thing up. I gotta put this up while you can watch it. Share screen, Facebook. There we go. Boom. Right there. So Yeah. Dan Campbell won't last 3 years. He did. Lions won't beat KC. And KC, they did. Lions won't win more than 8 games. They did. Lions won't make the playoffs. They did. Lions won't win the division. They did. Now it moves on. Lions are first-round exits. Keep doubting.
One and done. One and done. That's what you hear.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
what.
opinion
Yeah,
pundits say.
but you see how that's a perfect thing for like just talking about the goalpost. Like, yeah, it's easy to move the goalpost. Oh, you want a playoff game? You'll never win 2 playoff games. When then you win 2 playoff games, you never win the NFC. You're not going to the Super Bowl. Lions are never going. You go to the Super Bowl, you're never going to win the Super Bowl. Like it's not going to end.
When does it end?
At the Super, you have to win the Super Bowl.
You'll never win. You'll never win 7 rings like Tom Brady.
There it is, Mike. That's it. That's
the top
perfect.
of the mountain.
That's perfect right there. That's perfect. Oh man. So we talked that let's do a little review right here. Cause we're up against this 12 review of what we talked about today. For one, we whooped that ass right there. We won the NFC North title. And we didn't really whoop that ass, but it was a great game down to the end. And I'm glad that we had to go in and take care of business against the champs. They were the ex-champs. They were the ones that we went in and actually got to take the title from the team that had the title. I thought that was pretty cool. And then we're talking about this Dallas game right here. This is a big game, a revenge week. I mean, it seems like, if we want to complain about the refs, we could complain about the refs against this team. We most definitely can. They cost us a playoff game. We got some revenge to get. We ain't going to cry and make excuses, but there's a lot of reasons why the Lions should go in there and want to win this game right here that go beyond, seeding in a playoffs. Like, you should want to beat these guys up.
I'll tell you what.
Get in a fight.
The Dallas Cowboys are favored over the Lions by 6.5 points. That seems a little disrespectful to me. I think 5 is a good line on this game. 6.5 seems exorbitant to me. I feel like taking the Lions on that bet. What do you think of that, Russ?
Dude. I mean, we do this all the time. It's like 6.5 points. You think they can whoop us like that? You think they're that much better than we are? Come on. We talked about the injuries. We talked about the people returning from injuries. Like, for this game, you're going to see a CD deuce.
Somebody said in the comments, I dropped a CD deuce when I had an everything bagel.
You see, that's why I don't want to call you that, Chauncey. This is not disrespect when I call you Chauncey Gardner. Why did you call yourself a deuce? I mean, I know why you did it. But did you really think it through?
No,
is that what you really wanted? This is what you really wanted? Because I can't stop people. Chauncey, just me and you. I'm just like let me help you, dude, because I like you. I like you from the moment that you came out with the villains and the ski masks, and then you backtracked on that, and I don't understand that either. The villain thing, oh, is that cursed? Oh yeah, it's cursed so much that we won 11 games like we've never done before. Yeah, it's not cursed. It may have cursed you because you got injured on the game, but it did not curse the franchise because what happened? What happened? A whole bunch of crazy Lion fans who've never won anything for anything have been showing up to road games week after week after week after week wearing what? The ski masks. The ski mask ain't a curse. They've been wearing the ski masks and we won 11 games. That's 1. 2, you named yourself CD Deuce. I'm trying to help you here. CD. I'm trying to help you here. I can't help what they're going to say in the comments. If they want to take a CD and they want to go to the bathroom and take a CD, I can't stop them because you decided to change your name to CD Deuce. I can't stop them. I don't want them to say that stuff about you.
Look, Taylor has to draw the line here. Don't diss everything bagels, y'all.
He's not dissing it. That's what happens. I mean,
it causes a seedy deuce. That's all we're saying.
If everything goes in, everything has to come out. And that's what a deuce is. That's what we're trying to say, CD. So I'm going to call you Chauncey because I respect you too much.
Saturday night, Detroit Lions go into Dallas. It's on prime time, 8:15 kickoff. It's also main event Mike's birthday.
What?
So, yes.
Happy birthday.
I love no team more than the Lions, and I hate no team more than the Cowboys, and they play on my birthday. So I'm going to be inebriated in the Lions' den that night.
The Lions' den. Now, you want to talk about an atmosphere week after week after week, and you want to talk about a fan. Like, if there's anybody that I loved giving a hug after that win, it was Gary. And Gary, if you're watching right now, man, to be able to share that moment with you, after all the times, I mean, we watched the Dallas pass interference thing happen together. We watched, Jim Swartz throw a challenge flag together, when he didn't have any timeouts left. It's what my impressions. Scott loves my impressions. That's
he even does requests, Scott. So I'll give you one now. Give me a Lions fan in Moscow.
My gosh, I gotta get the screen up so I'm not blushing so much right here. There's Lions fans in Moscow. You guys do not play football. Football is for weak men, and weak men play football. You guys play team with like bears on helmet. In Moscow, we wrestle real bears.
We play against real bears.
With survival this fittest is Russia. And we don't drink beer. We drink vodka. Vodka's what men drink. You guys. Okay, I'm done.
You play against bears on helmet. We play against real bears.
We play a real bear. Real bear. You know who was a real bear? Freaking Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. If we win on Saturday, on your birthday, when you're inebriated, and we get to celebrate and have this victory together, it's going to be because Frank the Tank was able to go against Lawrence and move him out the way. And Penei Sewell was able to handle one Micah Parsons. Like, it ain't going to be because Jared Goff was flight of foot and he's dodging people and Jared Goff in the open field. That shit ain't nothing nobody wants to see.
It's my quarterback.
Yeah. We do not want to see Jared Goff in the open field. It's the Russia.
In Russia, we feed team to bears.
We feed team to bear. We feed... In Russia, bears are hungry. We feed people to bear. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, what about one of my other impressions right here? But
Will Vogel says in Russia, football plays you.
Oh, how about my walking?
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
It could be good for your life right there. That was one of the most dangerous things that the internet ever did, was give me access to a little program that I can make faces talk and say whatever I want them to say.
This kid's out of control.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like it's bad. It's like it was a bad animation, and that's what made it good. It's like like one of those B-C movies, that you just know they're not good. That's kind of like our show. We're like a bad B movie. Like
Steve says, I hope no Russians are listening.
Yeah, because then they'll call me out and be like, "No, we do not sound like this."
It's okay, Steve. Russians Russian, there is no protected class for Russians.
They would say, "Hey, this man does not know. Well, we do not sound like this. We have no idea why. Why would you say we sound like this?
We
when
have a
don't
request for Macho
We do not
Man.
sound. I'm not telling you. Ooh, yeah, it's the Macho Man, Randy Savage. He was gonna climb to the top rope, and his opponent, his down opponent right there is the subscribe button right there. He looks down at his defeated opponent, and then he drops the Macho Man elbow on there, and he gets to subscribe. Yeah, that's what the Macho Man does right there. And then he snaps into a Slim Jim.
Former NFL wide receiver Mark Schmidt in the comments. Thank you, Mark. Love this show. You guys are the best.
Mark Schmidt, man. We got to get Mark in here. Maybe we can get Mark here in the next couple days. I mean,
maybe before the playoff. Maybe before the playoff game, huh? We can get him on. That would be awesome.
Well, I mean, we're here every day. And just send me a message, Mark. I like that anytime you want to come on the show. He always has great insight. Obviously as a former player, he can give you the nuggets, man, the inside scoops. And, it's one of the things that really taught me to realize that, like, I don't want to make fun of any players. I don't want to say people suck unless it's like, and just the good fun banter back and forth. But none of the guys in the NFL suck. And that's one thing that I broadcast out there because it's the absolute truth. What, they got 1,800 players and you're talking practice squad, maybe, 2,500 players, maybe that get to practice and be part of an NFL franchise, right? And then there's some revolving doors with that, but none of those guys suck. None of them. All of them play better football than anybody Like the worst guy, the 4th-string guy on the practice squad. Yeah, like you can't play better than that guy. You may not even know what his name is, but he's better than you are at football. Like, they're all good. They're all good. That's why it's like competition at the highest level. That's why when Dan Campbell goes out there and he says, "Yeah, this is a tough game. This is what we embrace. This is what we embrace. We want the competition. I want it to be at the highest level." Penei Sewell wants to go up against Micah Parsons because he's the best at his position. I want to see if I'm the best in my position, right? That's the mentality from top to bottom. And all of them are good. They're all trying to make a name. How many times do you see a no-name guy come in and make a big play? Does that ever happen? Does that ever happen for your team? It happens for my team.
Happens every day in the NFL on special
Every
teams.
day. Every day. Ifeatu Melifonwu, nobody knew who he was until 2 weeks ago. Was it because he sucked? No. It's because he was on a bench. He was playing behind other starters. He was getting reps, earning trust. And then one time he had an opportunity. He went out there and took it. He made a big interception. And now he has earned his teammates' trust. And now he's going to have more opportunities to go out and make plays. But nobody knew who he was until they knew who he was. So, nobody sucks. That's the point to all that mindless rambling right there.
Going to be Green Bay and Minnesota this week.
Yep.
Going to be a big game. That's a big game, right? We who are we rooting for there, Russ?
Green Bay, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Tie. Yeah, we're gonna hit that tomorrow. We want to be able to talk about the other teams because they do still have a shot to make the playoffs if they can get their shit together.
Both teams do. If either one of these teams win out, they're going to make the playoffs. So the winner, and trust me, I want one of these other NFC North teams to make the playoffs rather than the Seahawks, rather than the Rams. It has nothing to do with who the Lions play. I would love to see the NFC North get 2 representatives in the playoffs this year. This division is just going to be so tough moving forward with the maturation of Jordan Love. The Ryan Poles experiment in Chicago seems to be paying dividends. They've already doubled their win total. Minnesota has a scrappy team over there and a darn good coach in Kevin O'Connell. So, and of course, the Lions ascending. So, this division is lined up for great things moving forward. And I would love to see it start this year with 2 teams from the North making the playoffs. So whoever wins this weekend against Green Bay and Minnesota, I hope they then win their next game, even if that's the Packers. I hope they win their next game and get in. I think it would be good for a Guys with Lions podcast show. It's a good thing. So that's what I
well, especially when you got one of the other teams. But the good thing about one of the teams is, they are playing each other. One of those teams is going to be 8-8 going into the final week of the season with a shot to claim that spot. And that's guaranteed. One of them is going to come out. I think Green Bay's a better team. Like right now, most complete team. And I'll take the team that has, more of a quarterback. I'm not as much of a believer in Jordan Love as you are. But I do believe he can play, and I think he's better than Nick Mullins or Jaron Hall or Josh Jobs. So I would have to give Green Bay the advantage right there. But they do play defense there. And Jordan Love, sometimes when he makes mistakes when he's pressured and, put in uncomfortable spots. So maybe Minnesota can rattle him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can force him into making some mistakes. That's a possibility with that.
James says, I'd rather see the Vikings win. I don't want to see Green Bay in the postseason. Actually, Russ, you know how I feel.
Yeah,
I want the Packers more than anything.
Yep. I'll take the Packers again.
I want the Packers. That loss on Thanksgiving. Actually, I would trade 2 of these losses to have that W. I'd rather be 10-5 at this point and just have had that game because I wanted that game so bad. And it sounds ridiculous, but I wanted that game so bad.
No, I mean, but I feel you there. I mean, that's one of those things, man. You want to win the rivalry games. It's so painful, but when you're sitting at 11-4 and you're looking back at that Chicago loss and you're like, oh, I hate that Bob Barker. Like, I mean, you're just, it just stares at you and you look at it and it doesn't, I mean, they get you. That's division games, man. Division games is
Happy
what it
Gilmore
is.
Reference. Nice.
Oh, that'd be because Bob Barker. Oh. No, I want the whole thing. I want to be Bob Barker. Yeah, you want to come into the playoffs? You ain't gonna whoop us twice, Green Bay.
Tina has a question. Do the Detroit Lions get home field advantage at all? That's yes, Tina. Yeah. We actually will have a home playoff game for the first one. And then depending on who loses in the first round, we might have home field all the way through. We saw Kansas City win a Super Bowl, not being the number 1 seed, and still never having to play a playoff game on the road. So being the number 2 is still a great place to be if that's where it ends up. My problem with being number 3 is the matchup. I don't want to play a team we've already played in the last couple of weeks, like the Vikings had to do last year against the Giants. They played the team 2 weeks before, then faced them in the playoffs and lost. That familiarity and that it's so hard to beat NFL team twice, right? If you're the same team,
right.
They figure you out, they make adjustments, they realize what they did wrong, and they make corrections. So,
right.
I don't want to play Dallas in the first round, whether we beat them or lose to them this week. I don't care. I'm saying I don't want to face them in the playoffs. So I definitely want to be the number 1 or the number 2 team.
Yeah, and really, with the sight set on that number 1, it's like we got to count on this guy. We got to count on this guy again. I would definitely take facing Matt Stafford in the playoffs, knowing we had a first round bye. I mean, that would make me feel a hell of a lot better because you asked that, and it might be Matt Stafford that will be directly responsible for the Lions getting the 1 seed. If they're able to win out and Stafford's able to go into San Francisco and get a dub to get himself into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. That's Corey says, I want Green Bay badly. That loss still irritates me. I'm right there with you on that.
Yeah, I don't think
Tina says, I heard that we're playing the Rams. That's only if it ended today, Tina. We would be playing the Rams if it ended today, but there's still 2 weeks to go and a lot can happen.
I know that hey, and you know what? I ain't making excuses because you win with the teams, but I would love to see the Lions play Green Bay when we had Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson. Um, both of those guys were out in the game that we played on Thanksgiving.
So do you want Green Bay because you think it's a team the Lions match up well against, or do you want Green Bay because of revenge?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that we're deeper than them. I don't think that they can beat us, with a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and James Houston, Aleem McNeil, our full complement of everything. I mean, Frank, you see the difference. You see the difference when Frank the Tank is out there. Okay. This is not the sexiest thing to say, but I think Frank is the best player on our roster. I think he leads the offensive line. He controls everything that happens. And he's the best at his position. And yeah, he's played injured, but he doesn't care anymore. He's like, yeah, my foot hurts. Fuck. Sorry. Dropped it. But yeah, he doesn't care. I'm willing to play with this pain for the rest of my life.
I like this call from Jordan. Let's see the Packers in the playoffs and get that days since countdown back on track. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm not scared of the Packers. I'd actually be more scared of the Vikings because exactly what you were saying, Mike. 3 weeks. I mean, you're going to play them, what, 3 times in 4 weeks?
Yeah, if you have to play Minnesota, right?
Yeah, that scares me more because, like I said, there's 1,800 players in the NFL and they're all good. And if they got that much, you got 3 cracks at it. So, but I would think the same thing from Minnesota's standpoint too. I wouldn't want to play us 3 times in a row either.
Right. But if we beat them twice, we don't have to. We beat them in week 18. We don't have to worry about that. And if you're going to be at the game, let us know. Russ and I will be at the game week 18 at Ford Field. We'd love to take a selfie and meet some of the people that contribute to the show because we appreciate y'all so very much. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Main Event 365 if you're not already. Follow us on Facebook, Lions Villain Squad. You know what? Follow us personally too at Main Event Mike on all social media. Russell Wayne Metler.
And I am actually going live into my personal page right there, which is why I apologize for dropping the F-bomb. I'm going to try not to do that in the AMs right here. And plus, I just don't want to be that guy. So whenever I don't want to be that guy. But are you suffering? Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
Yep.
Are you suffering from PTSOL?
Yeah, but you put a comment over
the
PTSOL part. Okay.
But if Fatou Melifonwu just won NFC Defensive Player of the Week, I'm sure that doesn't mean jack to him compared to winning Player of the Week from the main event. So, Lion of the Week. I'm sure that trumps that award. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that he can't wait. He can't wait to post that.
He's probably going to be bragging in the
Lions
locker room.
Talk with Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike award for Player of the Week has been, yeah. Are you suffering from PTSOL? You could be entitled compensation. No, I'm kidding. PTSOL, registered trademark from the Main Event 365. All rights reserved. Drink responsibly, right? That's how PTSOL, post-traumatic same old Lions. You look at this picture and you can see all of the great things, the ghost face mask, the challenge flag, the bat out of the back of the end zone, and that doesn't even have the catch. That doesn't even have all the pain on that picture. There's not enough space on one picture to show all of our pain, Mike. That doll is a giant doll. Show me on the doll where the Lions hurt you. It's like, I need a bigger doll because there's too many spots that they have hurt me.
Steve has posted this 2 days in a row. Actually, 2 or 3 times in today's chat alone. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up. That PTSOL has a new meaning, Packers to score on Lions. Well, you're a Packer fan, Steve, and I appreciate your enthusiasm, but PTOSOL is a registered trademark with Main Event 365, all rights reserved 2022. So we're going to need you to cease and desist from using that term in reference to Green Bay Packers at all.
Yeah. Well, we did experience that, but the thing is that doesn't mean that we didn't experience some PTSOL on Thanksgiving. When you guys did beat us, you guys did win against us. But here's the thing about Packer fans is that you guys have this ability, and it's amazing, and I applaud you for it, is like when we truck stick you and beat your ass in dominating fashion and embarrass you in your own home, you just go, and then like nothing happens. And then you go, 4 Lombardies, 4 Lombardies, 4 Lombardies, 4 Lombardies. And then you just start chanting about the past until the noise goes away. And then you win and you pretend like the first thing didn't happen. That's what you did. You did right there, you know? So you guys experienced some of your own PTSOL.
Yeah, they had PTSOL in week 4. Packers took a shit on Lambeau.
Right. So the thing is like, I'm willing to admit I'll give you guys credit where credit is due. That's what I'll say right there. Like when I come in here and I'm talking a little bit about Jordan Love and how do I feel about my how scared of I'm Jordan Love. It was not at all to where I'm in the middle now. I'm about a scare level of 5 on him, and that's actually a lot for me. And Mike's more up there on a 10. Mike thinks that you guys have your franchise quarterback, and that's just the way it's going to be. So I'll give you credit where credit is due, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to start whooping us, because our guy right here is a better GM than Gutekunst. And that's it. That's it. You can fight me on that one. You can prove me wrong. You can say what you want. But right now, this guy is a straight up G right there. GM, straight up G.
He's
GM Brad Holmes.
A candidate for executive of the year, one of only 5.
Yep. So I'll put my future up against your future any day. You may have a good quarterback, but you're still going to have to face us too in our dominating top 5 offense that is every year after year after year too. You're going to have to deal with Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs for the next 3 years. David Montgomery for the next 3 years. That offensive line is not going anywhere. Once we re-sign Jonah Jackson in the offseason, there you go. They keep the band together. You're going to see that for the next 3 years. Ain't going nowhere. You guys should be worried. Mike should do on-stage comedy. Don't you do that?
I do actually do that.
Yeah. Mike's going to be part of the villain squad. Russell Wayne and the villain squad. We're taking this on the road. We've been practicing this. And I'm sure there's going to be some stand-up comedy involved in that. So,
it's filthy though. It's absolute filth. Dirty, really dirty. So
you can't come up with a PG-13 version of it?
Yeah,
that's no fun. That's no fun. That's no fun. Oh, man.
I'm going to jump off here and work on my stand-up routine anyway.
Okay, work it out right there.
God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. We love you so much. Don't forget tomorrow's Good Vibes Thursday here on Football Talk with Russell Wayne, part of the Main Event 365 Network. We will have Grove Teague on the show from And We Know Sports. Thanks to everyone in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channels. We love you. Thank you.
All right, that's Main Event Mike. And tomorrow will not be the And We Know Sports. And We Know Sports is coming in on Fridays now because GT said that he wanted to do the picks with us. I mean, and that makes a lot of sense. You know, we pick in all the games. We got 3 different flavors of picks, and GT Grove Teague from And We Know Sports coming in and doing that. And you can catch And We Know Sports High Dimensions network, TV network, And We Know Sports right there every Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm looking for my thing. There we go. Right there. Oh, no. I went to the backgrounds. But
put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
I knew we could have won state, man. I know I came in a little bit overweight, but I'm going to do much better next time. One pride, let's go. Woo!
Oh, I hope everybody had a good time watching today. Thank you to everybody that's watching on YouTube right now. I'm looking at my stats over there right now. And yeah, I got 25 people on there with 27 likes. You guys are doing your job out there. I appreciate it. Like when you're watching, please comment on the stuff right here. I want to know what you guys think. Like Fred Peterson says, undefeated at home. I don't care. I like that.
You like that?
I like that. I moved it right into the after call right here. Let's call. It's an after party. Gun Guy says a lot of people had us as KC is the L. Oh man, we have so many comments in here. I'm just gonna go back there and visit you on there. Let's see if we can. We're gonna find some. You guys did awesome today on comments. I can't believe how many I just went through right there. I'm gonna have to move myself up here a little bit. So if I forget and I don't get your comment in there, East Side Bear Downs, right there. Henry's in there. We got Bear fans in here. That's cool. I think Bear fans are they're very loyal. Very loyal. Bear Down Mike's been in here. Roshnish has been in here. You know. And it reminds me of last year and the year before. I mean, we started doing this a couple years ago. Like full time. And it's hard. It's hard to go through a 3-13-1 season, you know? You know, it's hard to go through the entire Matt Patricia regime as a fan, you know. Covering the team. It's hard. And I know what Bear fans are going through. And you feel the hope. Like if I'm Bear fan, I feel hope. I would feel hope if I was Bear fan. Urel Jackson says, us Detroit Lions fans need to stop saying Super Bowl. If they can't act like cowgirl fans saying Super Bowl every year in the playoffs, jinx our Lions. I don't agree with that, Urel. I think that if you're a Lion fan and if you wanna think that you can win the Super Bowl, only one team gets to win the Super Bowl. I'll say it. They're in the playoffs. They have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Playoffs?
They have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Playoffs?
Every team has a chance to win once they get into the playoffs. I'm sorry. From a 7 seeds have won it. 6 seeds have won it. 5 seeds have won it. 4s, 3s, 2s, and 1s. Everybody's good in the NFL. If you want to be afraid to be a fan, I mean, I get it. I get it. You can feel like that. This right here, this isn't just a clever slide, Urel. You have every right to feel like that. PTSOL is a real thing. I'm scared to have my winner. I'm scared to like my team. What happens if they let me down again? So what? This team's made me fall in love with this team. And I think they're going to win a Super Bowl until they don't. A triple threat match. I love Lion fans. And this isn't directed at you, Urel. We are all of these characters right here. As Lions fans, we're all of these characters, and we're none of them. Like, I've created 3 different, and I didn't create these guys, but just the idea. The one on the left, you're just talking about the straight up fanboy. I guess I would fall into that category more than anybody. You know, Super Bowl, let's go. Oh, you can't like the Lions and criticize the Lions. Jump off the bandwagon. That's the guy on the left. The haters. Detroit versus everybody. Nobody deserves to be on this bandwagon if you weren't part of it. If you're criticizing Jared Goff, then you need to jump off the bandwagon. They apologize for everything. We're all that. Sometimes you're that. I'm that sometimes. Urel, you're like that sometimes. Fred, you're like that sometimes. But sometimes you become so frustrated and almost like the SOL people, the ones in the middle with the trash bags. They take it too far, right? You know, we're not going to win because we never won. Same old Lions. They haven't done anything since 1957. Like, why you got to make it miserable on everybody else? I've been depressed before. I don't think that I've ever been this guy. I've been depressed during a game, but I never got to a point where I was anti-Lion. There are some anti-Lion fans that are out there. You know, they get joy when the Lions lose, so they can come on and say, "Same old Lions. I told you they wouldn't be any good." Oh my God. Those are the punchable faces too. And then the one on the right, those are, like I just call the podcaster, the fix it guy. I can fix everything. Gosh, they're running a 4-2-5 defense, and they should be running a 3-4, and they've been and putting more linebackers out there. And if they would just do more blitzing, or if they would just fire their defensive coordinator. Oh, if they would have just picked Jordan Davis. Oh, they should have taken Jalen Carter. We wouldn't be going through all of these things. I can fix it. Oh, the only reason they're winning now is because they listen to me. That guy. And those are the 3 categories. We get in there. I turn into that guy, overanalyze. Oh, man. Should have did this. I should have did that. But, I didn't make any adjustments. Aaron Glenn was laughing at that. Didn't make any adjustments. You adjust from play to play. You have to make adjustments every play. And, the outside shell of philosophy is just really, really funny. But I think he's doing a good job now. But anyway, which one are you? Which one are you more like? I think that we're all of them and none of them. We're all of these characters and we're none of these characters. You know, we get frustrated when they lose. But Aaron Glenn, I think he's improved the defense. I think this is a fact. This is a fact. You can point to it with numbers. The only way that you can dispute it, is if you're just kind of throwing your opinion in there. But by the analytics, we're demons against the run. We're very good against the run. And the pass defense needs some work. It's not perfect. But having guys step out like Iffy Melifanu, he's playing good. His agent should love that. coming in on the 4th year. They're going to give Iffy a bag. He's going to earn a bag by the end of this year. That's cool. I think Aaron Glenn's doing a good job. I think the offense is the identity of this team, and the defense is just there to slow down their offense. Like our offense can just bam. We want to step on people with that offense. Running the football, running downhill. We got playmakers all over the place. Undefeated when a full offensive line is there. So I have full confidence in this team running offense. The offense is arrived, and that's it. That's the way you're going to see it. These guys are going to get better. They're even going to get better. Jamison Williams is getting better. You got weapons, Donovan People-Jones. You got Khalif Raymond. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Sam Laporta. You got David Montgomery. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. It's just like, if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm just like, it's an embarrassment of riches. So many matchup nightmares. You could choose a big slot or a small slot. Like, you can attack in so many different ways. And then Aaron Glenn has a defense that, you know, you just want to slow them down. They keep them behind the 8 ball. You know, the Lions just scored 30 points against a top 10 defense. I don't give a shit if they were playing a backup quarterback. That offense is the identity of the team. They can get ahead, and Lions football says they can get ahead, and then they can crush the life out of you, and then end with kneel downs. Now, that didn't happen in this last game, but it's happened in some of the games. And when they're playing Lion football, that's how they're going to win. They're going to get out ahead. It's going to be too big, and at the end, they're running clock, kneel down, run out the clock, kneel down to stay out ahead. Defense is being opportunistic, going for takeaways, creating takeaways. That's what good defenses do. The Lions aren't as good as the good teams. I've had this one for the last couple of weeks thinking. I want you guys thinking about that. Is that true? Is that becoming true? I think it's false. I think they're proving it to be false. Because people keep moving the goalposts and they keep on scoring. They keep on winning. Oh, you can't do that. What about this? Like, you can keep on moving it. Now the goalpost has moved to playoff win, so that's cool. No, at least it isn't winning a division anymore. That one's checked off. Thank you, Elise. Elise memes. Elise memes. I mean, she brings some of these things to life, and she's having some fun with it, and we love being able to post you out there because you're good at what you do, and we appreciate you. But this has been Football Talk with Russell Wayne. I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna get out of here. I've had fun today. God bless you guys. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon, Villain Squad. I mean, we'll take all the support we can get. We do this 5 days a week. We provide content 365 days a year through the Lions Villain Squad. And we're growing. We're growing, but follow us. Lions Villain Squad on YouTube at Main Event 365. Follow us there. Faith, family, and football. Thank you for everybody that participated in our angel tree that went on there and gave almost 100 kids, and this wasn't just a gift. Like it was Christmases. This was providing multiple gifts. This wasn't just like, buying them a transformer and saying, all right, there you go, great Christmas. No, they were almost 100 kids were provided with a Christmas, and the dream kept alive. Santa Claus being real. Faith, man, we've got to serve our peeps first. We talk football and we have fun on here, but we got to make sure our ducks are in a row. And this is the most important thing to me. This is where we go to church. And Pastor Galloway, Kevin is an awesome speaker. He provides the word and from a perspective that isn't like preaching at you. And I'm not going to preach on here, but I just wanted to put a shout out to my church in Genesee County. If you're ever in that area and you need a church, you want to go to a church, 9:30 a.m. I get to serve on that praise and worship team and playing guitar. So that's something that I love every single week. So faith, family, and football. Well, the family and football part, that part is definitely easy. That's just a matter of spending time with the kids, spending time with your family, and watching a football game. Make it a reason to spend time with each other. Use football. Use football for that. Don't let football use you. Don't turn into a butt. Win, and if we lose, just remember, faith, family, football. And this is Lions Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless each and every one of you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. And may the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet. We'll meet again tomorrow. Football Talk with Russell Wayne.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. You have a great day.